I will admit straight away I was wrong in the update video. The blueprint for this and the new gunblade actually dropped from the jackal. That's where you get the blueprint from. But to get the parts, you have to buy them using the new Granum currency, which drops from the treasure hour on corpus tile sets, and buy the parts from the Granum void, which makes it a bit of a pain to get. But build it, you will. It actually looks really nice. It has quite a nice amount of damage to it. 600 for, well, the charged attack, 52 for the automatic, 1200 radial attack. I think the charge side of this is going to be quite nuts. Does come with a V, which is great. V polarities, ridiculously useful. Just simply, yeah. That's kind of a colossal difference for one mod and a catalyst. I also went 3 former more than I would with this weapon, and I usually have magazine in there. At the minute it's kind of set up for gas, so it's not doing the best of damage, but this thing, you can build it towards either status or crit. It's not that impressive in any build you kind of throw at this thing, sadly. Right up until the point that you realise the secondary fire mode of this thing does way more damage than the standard one, which is where Firestorm in that empty slot there actually comes into play. I usually run Firestorm in that empty slot, but I decided to try Heavy Caliber on this, which meant I had to former it again. So, yeah, Firestorm in there, the secondary, or the charged attack mode for this. Oh yes, that thing will deal, what is it? Let's actually go back to the other screen I was on before. 13,725.6 damage. With Firestorm back in here, which it will just fit, it's not going to increase the damage. More importantly, it's going to increase the radial attack. Because it's the radial attack on this that deals an insane amount of damage. 27,451.2 to be exact. Just remember, this isn't the final build of this. I just have gas on it because I have to do this, so I had to put gas on a weapon. Usually, it did have radiation on it. I've swapped it to gas for that. You can put any elemental combo you want on this weapon and build however you want. But like any rifle, you could always just throw this into the aura slot and instantly the thing's going to do 27% more damage anyway. It would just help if that was a universal slot, which it should be. I don't know why my Equinox doesn't have that. She really should, because having that in there will save me a lot of time and pistol for leveling things. May have to do that in the future. But Rifle Amp will make this thing even stronger. I never ran it with it, but it is worth mentioning. And it's only really worth mentioning that because the auto fire mode of this is not insanely useful. It works really well. At first you will find yourself starting to use this and thinking, why does this even exist, until you start using the charged attacks and realise, that's why this exists. By the time you get 3 former in, you will realise that the primary attack mode, it's okay, but with that rifle amp on there, it's better. It actually makes it much better. And that was the workaround that I had for this that I never actually tried while using it. That is a whole different story coming up in a future video. I'm hoping tomorrow, but we'll get round to that if I get there. But this thing, once I discovered the secondary attack mode with Firestorm in there, was doing an insane amount of damage. That's all I used this thing for. I also never really took this thing into the Granum Void either, because that secondary fire mode is great, but you really need the Firestorm on there to increase the blast radius to take out the Spectres efficiently. And I have no excuse, I just never took it in there. Mainly because you do most of your farming in there to get this, and once you have everything out of there, well, you wouldn't take it back in because there are so many other places you can go. I found this thing incredibly useful in so many different places. I I have no excuse to put this thing away other than the one that I do have, but that's just a criticism about something completely different. But this thing, oh, primary fire mode, it's good. Can't really say it could have been better if you build it for crit and have increase that. It's the crit multiplier that really says build this thing more towards status, because it has a 24% crit chance but only a 1.8 times multiplier, but it does have a 22% status chance. Is it worth the farm in the Granum Void to get this thing? Well, you have to take out the jackal to get the blueprint, then you go to the Granum Void, farm a bunch of parts, by which point you would have got a bunch of other stuff that drops in the Granum Void, and yeah, by the time you've actually built this, it turns out to be well worth it. At first you may think, well, it's not that good. Throw a couple former into it. It actually gets good pretty quickly. At first impressions of this, it was junk. I really did not like this thing. After the first two former, it was, yeah, that's actually starting to get better. And after the third one, I realised, yeah, with the secondary fire mode used more than the primary fire mode, the charged attack works so much better, and it became a whole different weapon. The auto fire mode is good, don't get me wrong there, but the secondary, oh, it just makes up for this in so many different ways. But anyway, I could go on about that all day, so we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.